Do you see a counterattack here by Hrothgar? Focusing on this pylon, a good choice, but there's one other pylon powering those photon cannons. Just going to try to do as much damage as he can. Ender does come down and react quick enough, so this is going to be cleaned up real fast. Probe's attacking this drop as well. And Ender going for a couple more photon cannons just to be very, very safe. Good attack by Hrothgar, caught Ender off guard quite a bit. Tried to focus down a pylon, which did eliminate one gateway here, but probably should have gone for probes instead, or maybe the production buildings themselves. But either way, it's a good distraction. Ender's going to be caught off a little bit off guard there. You see 3 siege tanks out now. No 4th in production. We do have a Thor coming out. So Thors are pretty good against air units. We don't see Hrothgar going for any air, but they're pretty good against armored units as well. So against those immortals, they might be quite useful. See Ender going strictly for minerals right now, no gas. Hrothgar banking quite a few minerals here. Might be able to throw in a couple more production buildings. And we do see a lot of barracks going down, so he's going to start getting a lot of units out, which is going to be great. A couple more medevacs might be useful here, because when he does stim this army, the more medevacs you have, obviously the more quickly you'll be able to heal those units. And it looks like he's pushing out here, changing the position of these siege tanks. You see a huge army here from Ender. I'm not sure if this is going to work for Hrothgar. The army might be too big, but he is able to push it away, actually. Those siege tanks are doing so much damage to the front units here, scaring them away. So that's a little bit of a comeback here for Hrothgar, so a good sign. Looks like Hrothgar might be thinking about a 3rd command center here, try to catch up in economy. Ender's base is pretty untouchable up here with these 4 photon cannons and a whole army. So Hrothgar's going to have to go to a little bit of desperate measures here to try to catch up. You have 4 siege tanks out now. No more production from that factory. And all of these barracks, about half of them are producing units right now. You see that the supply count is actually catching up, so Hrothgar is able to catch up pretty well here. The problem is he won't be able to keep up with all this production once he is only on 2 base versus 3 base. So this 3rd base is going to have to come into effect pretty quickly here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to transfer up SCVs or not. It might be a little too dangerous. I do see a 4th base going up for Ender right now, so he is really focusing on his macro play, trying to get as many bases out as he can. Not letting Hrothgar catch up at any time here. Throwing a lot of pylons all around the map. He's going to be able to warp in units anywhere he needs to. Do you see Hrothgar going for this attack here? This might be the big battle. 2 Colossus out, and a good flank by Ender's units here is going to take out all the siege tanks so quickly with those immortals. The Terran army is able to get up into this base. He might be able to take down this Nexus, but this counterattack is going to be so strong. I don't see any more siege tanks, so Ender's force is going to have free reign, taking out Hrothgar's expansion here. Hrothgar splitting up his units, is going to try to do a little bit more damage with this Thor, but Ender just has too many units here. The armies aren't looking too strong anymore for Hrothgar. He does have a small force. I see he's transferring, and unfortunately, this is getting him a death march here into the Colossus. See about 4 units here for Hrothgar trying to escape, but Hrothgar's army is pretty much decimated. Ender has just too many powerful units. Didn't really have to use these sentries at all. Kept all 5 of his immortals alive. Only lost 1 Colossus, it looks like, and that's going to be GG. See 4 bases underway for Ender here. 2nd base for Hrothgar. Is mining with 1 SCV, and he's transferring a 3rd. It's going to be a little bit of a race here between this Nexus and this command center, but the command center is going to win. No probe in sight. I guess it's this probe here, but he's going to be in for a little bit of surprise. Unfortunately, Ender could just move in this army and kill the rest of the production buildings. One problem we do see here is Hrothgar has so many called down supplies. Not keeping quite enough track on his supply depot count, having to waste a lot of mules on these supply depots instead, where he could have been calling down mules instead. We do see trying to valiantly to get back in this game, but I don't think it's going to be to any avail, unfortunately. This game not quite as close as the last game was. Hrothgar didn't quite attack at the right time, I think. The biggest mistake, I think, was attacking at this gold base. He tried to focus down the Nexus, which was still in production, so Ender was able to cancel that and pick off a lot of Hrothgar's units before Hrothgar could escape, and that gave Ender a huge army advantage right off the bat. We do see this Death Army. Let's see what he sees. He does see this final base by Ender. A few Marines out, and he doesn't know about this base yet, so Hrothgar actually trying to come back pretty well, but it's just obviously not going to be enough. Ender pretty much at max supply here. Tons of medevacs out, but against Colossus, and they're just going to be cleaned up so fast here. And Hrothgar calls GG. So, very interesting game. A lot of expansions going on. We see Ender with his photon cannon play a little bit at both of his expansions. He was able to get basically a Nexus on every base at the end of the game here, but by that time his army had such a big advantage that it didn't really matter too much. So we're going to be going to playoffs now. It's going to be 2 brackets based on the round robin play, and those are going to be pretty exciting games. I'll see you guys in the next game.